All right, you guys didn't. No one had any trouble with the link today. Obviously, you all made it, so you're the okay. Good. Does that work? I'm gonna send that link out an hour ahead of time, like that, and I think I'm gonna put it in our community area at the top of the forum as well, in case you ever need to get access to it. So we're gonna do this link for next week, and then October 3rd, we're gonna start the values program. So I had to finish the PDF and a few other things. So that's what delayed that. So we'll get that going. And the values will be October 3rd, October 10th, and October 17th. And next week, Freddie and I have a kind of a fun, new, and unique process that is based on Milton Erickson's work. So it's an Ericksonian experience, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I'm practicing my Erickson voice. Yeah, I've only got now. That's the only as far as I've got so far. But yeah, gonna have some fun. Hi, Yasmin.
So Gwen says Andrea can help us figure out how to do the co-hosting thing, but I don't know if I see her on here. Since we have a new link, we'll give it a few minutes here. I want to make sure I don't have any emails or Facebook messages.
I don't see her yet.
Hi, Diana.
Still early.
See you all nice and see you, Nick, Chris, Tom. See you all. Pippa, Martin, Patty. She's here. We can get the party started now. Patty's here.
Hi, Patty.
Hi.
All right. I think I'm going to record this in the background. So let me get my GarageBand set up because I might want to turn this one into a recording for all of you.
Can't wait for that, can you? What's the name of your garage band?
No, that's what the app's called, Freddie.
Oh, is it? All right. I thought you were gonna give us a treat. Yeah.
You don't want that yet. I got a long ways to go.
Stay in the garage.
Yeah, exactly. And soundproof it.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Nick's getting his garage band set up. It's gonna be fun. Brian's on drums. Doreen's on the cymbals. Linda's on the maracas. Going to be hilarious. It's going to be so much fun. I've heard you're very good on the maracas, Linda. Is that true? Chris going to be playing the flute. It's going to be fun. Yasmin is playing the bagpipes, apparently. Really good on those. And Patty's on a squeeze box. Going to be hilarious. Of course, I'll be lead singer. Can't wait.
Of course you will.
Yeah. I'm practicing my Tom Jones moves.
All right. I'm almost set up here. We'll give it another minute. Let some people come in.
Been really sunny here today. So I think I've caught the sun. Either that or I'm going through some kind of strange thing. So I look like a beetroot this evening for some reason. And it's not the lighting. Hi, Mandy. Veronica, great to see you all. Ellen. Emma, lovely to see you. Krista. And Sheris is here. Good.
Okay, we can slowly get started. I got some more people coming in. Sarah asked if it will be values and then money. So I am We're debating if we put the time management system in between, because if you have your values and then the structure to your day, I think the money might go so much better, but I'm not sure yet, because I definitely had a bunch of ideas for the money portion today. So let's get through values first and see how everybody's doing. But I think values is going to be so crucial to set up before we do the money piece. So I would make sure, and even if you just have to listen to the recordings because you can't make it, I think that's kind of a prerequisite for everything, which is why we did it in this order. So for those of you just joining, we're talking about the values program coming out October 3rd, 10th, and 17th. Next week, we're doing an Ericksonian hypnosis experience where Freddie and I are going to work together. And then tonight is the Infinite Youniverse. And this was an idea that I got during Freddie's session a couple weeks ago. And I called Freddie afterwards, and I had just in the process, I just downloaded the idea for this whole thing. So we'll get into that in just a minute. I want to see, does anyone have any wins that they want to share? Anything that you've put your mind to and brought into your life through the power of hypnosis and focus and the stuff that we're doing? Any wins? Yeah, share us. And then Darlene, we'll come to you next.
Well, the book that I was writing all year will be published in a couple of weeks.
Excellent.
Wow, good.
And it's a good book, I might add.
It is. It is. Yeah. I wrote a little commentary for it. So it's good. I'm excited for that. That's great. How many of you have written books? How many of you have like all the way to completion written a book? Okay. All right, cool. I told Sheris she's got to kick me in the butt to finish mine. I started writing it again. So I'm getting closer. It's in process. All right, Darlene, let's hear from you.
Two things. So I used the blink and delete because I was having a problem with, I was swelling up and having to go to the ER because I was having allergic reactions to the plants and the weeds around my house. So it went from weeds to plants to flowers to my house plants. So I was just like, I was on prednisone and going to the ER and all the time. So now as soon as I even get a thought, I blink and delete. Haven't been to the ER, haven't been swelling. The only thing I might get a teeniest little bit of swelling in my, like, it's so vastly different. Like, so all the time, blink and delete. And the other thing is I use as an auditory anchor before I go to bed now. So I'm sleeping so much better. My mind and my body are so relaxed. And every time I say it, I slow it down and I slow my breathing down. And I just keep repeating that like an auditory anchor, like a mantra. And I've actually been sleeping.
Have you got to your left leg yet? You never get to your left leg, do you?
Oh, I don't even go through that. I just use, because your voice is in my head. My mind and my body are so relaxed, and I do it with the deep breathing and the breath.
Oh, yeah, out. I know it's good.
Yeah, so I'm actually using it like an auditory anchor. So as soon as I say it,
Darlene, you have to be
to myself.
You have to be careful.
That?
You have to be careful. I can see everybody in this room starting to drop down as you repeat that to yourself.
Okay,
it works.
Can I just quickly say it's a win and a Gwyn that I'm talking about, because it is a win for me. But Gwyn, who's here, is translating my new book into Spanish. So, it's a win and a Gwyn. I've got two things going on here. So thanks, Gwyn, for that. Keep an eye out. And if you don't know how to speak Spanish, buy the book in a few months and learn. It'd be great.
And if you don't want to share your win on video, you can put it in the comments as well. But again, I want to just create a culture where everybody is sharing wins and we focus on that and everybody's feeling that as a group. I think that's a great way to fire off the right neural networks and get started here. I had a friend of mine, I went to the Final Four game this spring because my basketball team, Purdue, was playing and they lost, but I got to see some college friends and one of the girls there I went to college with, she had a phobia of vomit and throwing up. She watched The Sandlot when she was a little girl. And I don't know if any of you remember, but they threw in chewing tobacco and they rode the Ferris wheel. And she was in the movie theater and she just had this, she ran out and had this phobia of throw up. And so I just did the movie theater reframe and I changed the image and the meaning. And it had affected her life so much that she couldn't be around her kids when they were sick, which as a mother's is a pretty big deal. So I had texted her a few times and never heard back, but our mutual friend told me that her son got sick last month and she stayed home with him for the first time in years, that she was able to be around her son who was sick. So, so big win. So yeah, just fun to get feedback from people I've worked with. And I'm sure many of you have the same experiences using the power of the mind to make rapid changes. So, all right. Excellent. Everybody ready to get started for tonight? Any
Yeah.
questions on the
Can
format
I
or the
just-
membership or links?
Can I just quickly say I've given a suggestion to Nick. I'm just a hypnotist, just a suggestion on what we were talking about on sharing our wins, because I'd like to think at some point in the near future we'll have just a meetup for all the members, and so we can go into these little breakout rooms and get to know each other, because you're here every week and I'm talking to everybody here. But just get you into little breakout rooms, and then maybe at some point, have an accountability partner. So if you're willing to share you're willing to share your goals with each other, and just say, I want to achieve this by such and such a time. Would you keep me accountable? And then you can, if you want to do it, it's just a thing we do at the JHA as well. And I just think if you've got somebody who's going to kind of check in with you and say, how you going on your goal? Where are you with it? It kind of keeps us motivated as well. So it's just a suggestion, Nick. I'm just a hypnotist. Anyway, that's something we're thinking about, because I think, what we want to create here more than anything else is a community where, we're all like-minded. We're all thinking in the same way. We all want to create the life we want. And I just think it'd be nice if we get to know each other a little bit better, and maybe share some of our wins and share some of our goals, and maybe make a friend that will keep you accountable. Anyway, that's just a thought for the future.
I love it. I think the values program might be a good place to start with some breakout rooms and some sharing. Well, who's that?
I think it's you, Nick.
I don't think it was me. Okay. All right. So
It might be good to mute everyone, Nick.
yeah, I think we got a few here that are unmuted. All right, we should be good. Okay, one more thing. I sent an email yesterday. I'm signing up to participate in a program, 3-day program next week with Russell Brunson. It's a marketing program. It's called Selling Online. It's $100. It's stupid cheap. And it's going to be 3 days of mastering your sales funnels and understanding your audience and your marketing and your sales pitch. And so if anybody wants to do that, I sent an email out yesterday with a link. If you have any questions, let me know. It's going to be a great time. We have a WhatsApp group. There's 5 or 6 of us in it already to kind of go back and forth about some marketing ideas. So if you're at a point in your business where you feel like that would help, let me know, send me a message, and I'll plug you into this WhatsApp group, and we can build our businesses together for 3 days next week, if that works for you. And with that said, I think we've got everything covered, and we're going to get started on tonight's topic, which, like I was saying, was a download during one of Freddie's programs, which often happens in a state of hypnosis, that ideas just come to me, at least, in new ways. And so that kind of gave birth to this idea, which is an expansion of our ideas of ourself. Because who are we and what are we? You know that you're not your name. You're not your body. If I take your hand off, you're still you, but without the hand. So, like the physical body isn't who you are, or it's not the limits of who you are. Your ideas aren't the limits of who you are. You are consciousness and awareness in a physical form. And so it's easy to speak about that and to kind of consciously, theoretically understand it, but it's a different thing to experience that expanded awareness and consciousness. So the process we're going to go on tonight is to connect with the external world, the external universe in a new way, and to connect with the internal universe in a new way. And it's going to combine some principles from the open focus alpha sequence that we did a few weeks ago that all of you said you went really deep on, and some principles of identity. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun here. So that's what we're going. Part of the inspiration for this was there's a guy named Billy Carson who talks a lot about ancient civilizations and aliens and spirituality and all kinds of that stuff. And he, on an interview, was talking about the fact that we can store information in DNA. Are any of you familiar with this? Like computer code, they can take books and they can turn it into the ACGTs and the building blocks of DNA, load it into a DNA strand, and they can then take that DNA strand and extract that information into zeros and ones back into the computer. So they can put books of information in and take books of information out of DNA. And when they calculated how much information could be stored in DNA, he said it came out to 13.5 billion years worth of information in your DNA. I don't know how they came up with that. I can't verify if that's accurate, but it's an interesting idea. If you think about how old the universe is, he argues that all of the information in the universe might be within our DNA. And how much of that are we using? How much of that do we tap into? Oftentimes we limit ourselves with the same patterns of thought, the same identities, the same levels of awareness. And so today, if that's all right with you, we're going to expand that awareness and shift that and go on a little cosmic journey to tap into the infinite Youniverse. Sound good, everybody? Any questions before we start? All right, excellent. I think by your responses to my email, I think many of you are excited for this. So I want you to first think about one or two things that you want to bring into your life, and one or two things that you would call problems. We know there is really no such thing as a problem, but think about one or two things you want to bring into your life and one or two things that you consider a problem or that you think you've been stuck on. And take a moment and just get really clear on what those things are. And when you're clear on that and you're ready, just get situated, get comfortable. And connect with your breath and close your eyes as you get situated for an incredible cosmic journey to expand the ideas you have about who you are and what you're capable of. And as you notice the sensation and the texture of every breath, as you inspire to breathe in, I want to ask you a few questions and I want you to consider these. What's more important, the atom or the molecule? What's more important, the molecule or the cell? The cell or the organ? Because without functioning cells, the organs don't work, do they? What's more important, the organ or the system that it's a part of? the system, or the entire body? And what's more important, that individual body or the family, the community, the tribe? And what's more important, the tribe or the nation? The nation or this planet that we're on? The planet or the solar system? And the solar system and the entire universe? Because they are all building blocks for each other. No one is more important than the other. And you are an important and vital piece in every step, in every form, in every size of life. And let's begin by connecting into your body, knowing that you are not your body, but you get to inhabit this body, incarnate in this body. And bring your awareness into your body and the skin that holds it all together. Because in a moment, you're going to go on a journey of expanded awareness into the cosmos. And imagine that body of yours and your awareness growing. And expand your awareness to include your entire family. You as an individual, as one unit of a family. And see those that are in your family. And imagine and create a state of perfect harmony between you and everyone in this family. And let your awareness expand, including you as a unit of the family, into the tribe, into your community. And imagine expanding your consciousness to hold your entire community. And see your community, your city, and your nation working in perfect harmony. What would that feel like? And continue to expand your awareness to fill the entire earth. You as a very important and crucial piece of everything that happens here on earth, connected to all things. The air that you breathe, the water you drink, it flows in and it flows out in harmony with everything, every molecule, every atom that makes up this beautiful planet. And imagine expanding your awareness larger and larger, just like you were floating next to the earth. Like you could reach out and put your arms around this beautiful planet. And as you feel that expanded sense of space, look down on the earth. See the mountains, the oceans, the clouds. And notice all of those 8 billion people just doing their best, trying to survive, trying to live a fulfilling life. And notice that somewhere down there on that planet is you and your family and your loved ones. And feel the love and compassion for the planet Earth. As your awareness continues to expand in size, notice all of the planets in the solar system spinning around the sun in perfect order, in perfect, precise unison. And imagine that you were so large you could look down and in one visual see the entire solar system spinning. And as you do, you may realize the order that is inherent in our universe. Nothing is out of place. And as you feel in perfect harmony with the divine movements of the cosmic bodies, shift your attention towards our sun and notice the light, the warmth, the life that the sun brings to our solar system. And you may realize the consciousness, the intelligence inherent in the sun. And as you grow larger and larger, expanding to get a view of the entire galaxy, the Milky Way, all of the incredible stars, all of the solar systems within it. Feeling space and order. Seeing the beauty and the vastness. And from this expanded state, look for our small little planet below, the planet Earth, knowing that it fits perfectly in this cosmic order. And imagine expanding your consciousness even more in all directions, above and below, left and right, connecting with all the planets, all the stars, all the galaxies in the entire universe. All are filled with the one divine consciousness that you hold. Beyond time, beyond space, beyond any limits that you've ever perceived. And from this unlimited, expanded awareness, holding this awareness, consider how small that problem is that you were perceiving. Way down on that little blue planet, galaxies away. And try to find it from where you are now and notice what happens instead. Notice how tiny that perceived problem is in the infinite expanse and divine order of the entire universe. And notice how hard it is, how impossible it is to give that problem any real meaning, any real weight as you continue to feel expanded. In a moment, not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and you will shrink in size all the way back down into that body, way down on the planet Earth. And you will bring your awareness of the entire cosmic order with you. In 3, continuing to feel that sense of expansion. 2, connected to the entire universe. And one, shrinking back down in size rapidly through the galaxy, back into our solar system, back into Earth, back into that body, filled with that sense of awe and presence and spaciousness still. And now it's time to bring that heightened sense of expanded awareness inside, into the infinite Youniverse. Dissolving any internal boundaries or barriers, any of those old ways of being. And start by bringing your awareness into your hands, into your fingers. Feeling that sense of space between those fingers. Noticing just how far apart each finger feels from the next one. And it may feel like an inch, but imagine there was a foot between every finger. If you were so expanded that the distance between each one of your fingers was 1 mile. And notice the space inside of your eyes, the windows to the soul. And notice how far apart those eyes feel from each other. And get a sense of the space between them expanding in such a way that it feels like there's 10 feet between your eyes. How large would you be? How large would you feel if there was a mile between those eyes? And move your awareness into this body, into the infinite space inside your body. And notice the distance and space between your shoulders, between your hips, between your knees. And expand your awareness to include every part of that incredible, intelligent body. Feeling into every system in your body, your respiratory system, your cardiovascular system, your digestive system, feeling perfect harmony between every system, more energy flowing, more life, breathing in more awareness, and continuing to expand the feelings of infinite space inside your body. As your nervous system carries information and energy, harmonizing every system in your body. And imagine shrinking your awareness down into a cellular level. noticing that each cell looks like a galaxy in itself, filled with divine order and harmony. Each part of that cell, all of the molecules having a job, communicating information and order. And what would it feel like if every cell in your body was in perfect harmony, with a perfect flow of information? And I wonder how many of those cells can you become aware of at one time? The cells in your fingernails, the cells on your elbow, the millions and billions of cells that make up your hair and your teeth and your heart. And as you relax deeper, knowing the flow of divine information and perfect harmony that exists in the rest of the universe exists within you. And what you used to call you may realize is made up of organs and organ systems, cells, molecules, and atoms, infinite in size and infinite in space. And imagine the space from the top of your head to the tips of your toes was infinite, just like your experience out in the universe. And bring your awareness into your heart and think about those people that you love. See the faces of those that you love the most and imagine that loving energy spreading through every cell, every molecule, every solar system and galaxy within your body. And feel the space and the frequency inside of your heart. And think of those goals or those outcomes that you want to accomplish. And as you feel into your heart and you feel that expanded sense of awareness through your entire body, picture those goals and those outcomes as already accomplished. See yourself accomplishing those. See yourself living that vision with this expanded sense of awareness, knowing that you're capable of anything. And get a sense of the feeling of that accomplishment in every cell, every atom, inside all of the infinite space within you. And notice how good it feels to see and to hear and to taste that accomplishment, to bring that to life with the power of your awareness. And notice the sense of expanded identity that comes from that accomplishment. And finally, bring your awareness up into your head, up into the center of your head, between your ears, at the level of your eyebrows, right between your eyebrows, into your pineal gland, the master regulator for melatonin and oxytocin and all those beautiful hormones that create our emotions. And bring your awareness into that pineal gland. And imagine the entire universe inside of that tiny little gland. Feel it expanding in all directions into infinite space. And feel the energy that flows into it and out from it. Continuing to hold that image of what you want to accomplish and that feeling of it already being accomplished. As your entire awareness expands into infinite space centered in that pineal gland. Feeling your nervous system calibrate and connect with every cell, bringing them into perfect harmony and perfect health. And from this sense of expanded awareness, feeling the energy flowing through any parts of the body that need to be brought into harmony, that need healing. Feeling that information and energy washing away any old emotions, any old energy, or any cells that are out of harmony. Allow that to happen and continue happening now. And finally, when you get a sense of all the changes taking place at a molecular, cellular, and universal level, you can become present into your body, knowing that at once you are the atom and that you are the universe. And that you are entangled with all matter, because physics says that once two photons are entangled, they can never be separated. And every thought you think, every feeling you feel, connects with the perfect and divine order of the entire universe. And you remember how small those problems felt and how incredible those accomplishments feel now. As you get a sense of being connected to your true self, your authentic self, and to all things. Getting a sense of how incredible it feels, connecting with your breath again, breathing in to every cell in the universe within you, which contains infinite energy and information and is connected with all things. And finally, when you stabilize that energy and that feeling into every cell, every system, bringing perfect harmony with your body, your mind, your family, your community, and the entire universe, you can bring your awareness into the present moment, into that beautiful, incredible, and infinite body that you're calling home for now. And when you've successfully done that, you can take as much time as you would like to open your eyes with an expanded sense of awareness of the infinite power within you. Noticing how incredible you feel. Eyes are slowly opening. It's a good sign. So I wanted to share I meant to share this before we started, but part of the inspiration for this was I was walking in a local park and there was this little section of wildflowers between the trails. And I looked at the incredible complexity of that little, I don't know, 20 by 20 square foot of land. And I realized that there is an infinite amount of information in there. Every single plant is filled with trillions of cells that are all carrying out complex procedures and an almost infinite number of atoms and bugs and ecosystem and the soil was filled with microbiology and just the incredible complexity and almost the infinite amount of information in a small area. And then I had a thought, well, how much space is there between 0 and 1? Well, there's infinite space, right? Because you can have 0.1, you can have 0.11, 0.111, and it can go on to infinity. And so just like there's infinite space between 0 and 1, we consider ourselves a unit of 1, right? An individual. But just like you go from 0 to 1, there's infinite space and infinite potential within us as well. And that was what I wanted you to experience as part of this, is realizing that expanded awareness of the entire universe and the entire amount of space and information and potential that lies within you. So I'd love to hear, I've never led anybody through this. This was just an idea I had. I would love to hear what your experience was like going through any phase of this, if anyone wants to share. Got a couple comments. Yeah, Nick, love to hear from you.
That was a very relaxing and enjoyable session. Thank you very much.
Good.
And, you know, it was a very long and journey. And often these sessions leave me a little more energized, but this one, it seemed like it lasted for a long time. And there was a lot of expenditure of energy.
Okay.
Finally, you said a few things like taste and the togetherness and, you know, the interconnectedness of us all. And I kept thinking, you know, we really should have a party. We really should have an Oktoberfest where everybody contributes to a potluck dinner or something.
I'd love that.
Wouldn't that be
We're
fun?
going to your house, Nick. Everybody's going to
Okay,
Nick's
you
house.
can come. You can come.
Well, that is, you know, that is our dream. Ultimately, at some point, you know, everyone, we'll all meet up somewhere on this planet, find a place where we can all get to. You know, I can't think of anything better than that, you know. And, you know, what Nick was saying about, you know, interconnectedness, you know, I don't know how many weeks ago it was that we first met on this, Nick. I've never met you in real life. We're probably tens of thousands of miles away from each other. But, you know, you're in my life. You know, if X amount of weeks ago I'd read in the paper something happened to Nick, I go, well, okay, but now I cannot be affected by what happens to you, your happiness, your well-being, you know, or anyone else in this group, because now you're in my life, you know, and I think that's a connectedness we're going to get, and that's what I want, and that's why I thought if we get together at some point, like you're suggesting, a party, but we get together on Zoom and just break out into little groups, meet each other, you know, share our goals, share our dreams, a little bit about each other, just to make that connection even stronger. Because I just think, you know, we've got so much opportunity here. There's so many, you just think about the information just in this group we've got here, the skills we've got in this group, the things that you've learned, you know, sometimes the hard way, that you might just be someone else in this group that's going through something, and they just might reach out and go, this is what's happening in my life. And you might just have the answer to that. You know, Nick and I don't have all the answers, but within this group, how much information we got. And like Nick was saying, there's all the ancestral, the stuff that comes down for our DNA
Yep.
that we haven't even learned in this lifetime. And I'm not talking about past lives. I'm talking about just in our genetics. So, you know, I think if we, as we go through these weeks together, and as we expand this in as much as we get to know each other better, I think it's going to be something of real value. I know it's going to be something of real value. It already is. So, you know, that's my dream.
Sure
here,
is.
you know, and that experience for me, you know, I've been saying to you in groups for some time now, you are the most incredible creation. You, each of you, your body is the most incredible creation. You know, and I was saying it the other week when Nick got caught up in and got this download, which we've all experienced tonight, which is phenomenal. When I was saying that, you know, sometimes we could feel really small. If you think about the expanse of the universe, the galaxy, the trillions of galaxies out there, it can feel quite small. But the other way of looking at it is that we may be the only thinking being in thousands of light years in any direction, as Nick was saying, up, down, anywhere, in thousands of light years, we might be the only creatures that have the ability to think and love and feel, create, exchange all that information. You know, so instead of, we can think of us as being like minuscule in the whole scheme of things, or you can think how incredible we are. And I like to think that's what I want for you to believe. You know, and we can all look in the mirror and see what's wrong with our bodies. But look at the other way. How incredible is your body? You know, I was thinking about today, you know, I've got like 4 sons, 5 grandchildren directly on this planet created because of me. How incredible is that? It's pretty phenomenal, isn't it? And I think, you know, some of you have got children and it's just, I still find it all amazing. You've seen my little post from my garden. And I absolutely love being out in that garden because, as Nick was saying, every patch of ground, you know, we can look at a dandelion and think that's kind of a weed, but the properties in the dandelion, you know, if we kind of poo-poo it because we don't grow it, it grows everywhere. But the properties in that dandelion, you can eat the root, you can eat the stem, you can eat the leaves. All of it is good for you, you know, and that's just a weed, and that's just one plant in that garden. And so for me, I find fascination in everything. You probably know that by now. And I love this life, you know, and that's once you get into that and you start to think outside of ourselves, our problems come when we focus on our own problems. That's where the problems are. I actually messaged someone today. I made a mistake. I've got this event coming up in November, and I've asked Nick and I've asked my son and my guy who does my website to send out an email. And I put www. in front of the actual email address, you know, of the website address. Of course, it didn't go through. And I spoke to the woman I'm running this thing with, and I said, well, look, you know, when it comes to mistakes, and I make loads of mistakes, I make tons of them. But when it comes to my mistakes, I said, I look at it in terms of eternity. As Nick was saying today, when you put it in terms of eternity, that space that we're living in becomes so minute, then the mistake becomes, so what? It's a mistake, you know, and it's the same with our problems. If we put our problems, just put them in terms of eternity, then how big is that problem? You know, and I think what Nick did today, that's what it took me today. And also for me today, Nick, I have to tell you, that was like a healing process, a truly physical healing process. And I believe that changes are taking place in my body. I'll soon find out when I stand up if I don't ache like I did when I sat down. But you know, I truly believe that running that for people, I believe that's going to change their physical being, because it was an incredible experience. Thanks for that, Nick.
My pleasure. Gwen's been waiting with her hand up for a bit.
Oh, no, that's okay. Just thank you so much for that, Nick. I don't necessarily go that deep that often. And it started early on with the bit about the harmony and the family. And I thought, okay, he's lost me there already. That one's not going to work. And just somehow managed. I'm still floating at the moment, is what I wanted to say. I went incredibly deeply. And I was laughing when the first Nick spoke. You said something about taste. And I'm looking at somebody's post that they have no recollection of what happened. I have some recollection, but I have a feeling there's a whole lot that just was kind of absorbed in. So yeah, it was really pretty awesome. Thank you so much.
Good. I didn't even suggest amnesia this time, so I don't know where that's coming from, but that's good. That was my intention. So I'm glad you guys had some positive experiences. Did anyone have like one point in the process where you were like, oh, this is really good, or this is the point where I realized something or I felt a shift? Anybody have any of those? Like I said, I've never done this process with anybody before.
I
Share
had
this? Yeah, Gwen, go ahead. Well, I got
I
you.
know it's just the pineal gland thingy up there. I mean, I think my focus really was up there and could feel things spreading elsewhere. Maybe that was Freddie's reference to feeling some of the healing.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I did really focus on. Sorry for interrupting, Patty. Go ahead.
No, that's perfect.
no, that's good. That's good, Gwen. I was just going to say I had several of them, and I kept thinking, oh, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be getting from this. This is incredible. And then all of a sudden, you expanded to something else, and I thought, damn, I can even go wider or broader or deeper, or I don't even know what direction, And so, and then even as we were, I don't want to call it contracting, but downsizing, I thought, oh wow, I'm really getting this. I'm really here. And then all of a sudden there was something deeper or something richer. And I thought, wow. So yeah, the whole experience had so many points at which I thought, okay, how can I really see it from this vantage point? And then all of a sudden I'd get it. And then you'd invite us into something bigger or something grander or something deeper. So yeah, the whole thing, Nick, was exquisite.
Well, good. Now you're all making me feel jealous because I want to do it. So should I add a little bit of music to it and make it a track you guys can listen to on its own?
Yeah, that'd
I
be
don't know that
great.
you need music. But
No? Maybe
Yeah.
some binaurals or some subtle. Okay. I'll make this I'll separate this out into a track. So I see Krista shaking her head. Okay.
I think once we get to that point where we totally understand that we're not our physical beings. I just thought across a minute ago, if we were all said, okay, we're going to meet up in such and such a car park, and we all turn up in our cars, and probably all our cars are different. And some where we're going, wow, that's a lovely car. And other people say, that car's a bit old, but Matt, it's just, I don't know if you can get my analogy here, but if we all turn up in our cars, we would make, we say, oh, that person's got a beautiful car. That person's got an old car. That's a bit of a banger or whatever it might be. But we're not our cars. We would be in our cars, but not our cars. And I think that's how we should be thinking about our bodies. We have these bodies. We don't really choose them, did we? But we're not our bodies. I do this strange thing. Maybe you'll try it. If it makes you laugh, it makes me laugh. If I stub my toe or I kind of hit my finger or something, your initial thing is, oh, that really hurts. And then I just say to myself, it's just my body, right? It's not you. It's just my body. And then you kind of forget about it. So maybe try that. And next time you get an ache or a pain or, you stub your toe, just remember, you're going to laugh because you remember me saying it. Oh, it's just my body.
And Freddie, to dissociate
important.
one step further, you can say, oh, it's just the body. Like it's not, you don't even have to say my, you can say it's just the body. Like it's just the body feels that. And it dissociates you even a little bit farther from it.
Yeah. It's not me. And nothing that happens to my body can actually touch me. It's just
Very
my
true.
transport.
Share
But we do have to look after this transport. I understand it is my transport. People do judge me by my transport. I understand that, but it's not who I am. And once we understand that, then it separates us out, as Nick was saying. And, you know, yeah, it's a different experience in life. But I understand without this transport, I can't move. I can't speak. I can't see. I can't taste. I can't communicate with you. That's not who I am. And I think when we get to that point, you know, it's a different experience.
Sheris, I think you wanted to make a comment.
I think what I really loved was the shrinking of the problem and the expanding of the inevitability of my dream just being reality. And that's a bit of a trick to do that. So, and I also felt there was resistance at some of the expansion. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do, I don't want to be that big. Thank you very much. I don't really care for that. But I could get used to it given enough time. I mean, I just couldn't do it automatically, but I could get over that. But what I really loved was the expansion back inside. That I really loved.
Good. I think our neural networks form an identity of us being in this limited, you know, 5'9" or 3 or 6'2", whatever space. And, you know, when you shift your awareness bigger than that, it goes, wait a second, this isn't what we're used to. And maybe that was happening.
It was definitely happening. It was just, I mean, I agree with everything you said that we can do that. My mind's totally there. It's just that I need to practice. That's all.
Sure.
It's just practice.
Absolutely.
So I really look forward to whatever recording you do, because I think practice is going to be important.
Good. And one thing Freddie and I talked about, I think last week, we had agreed when we release audios to do one with music and one without. So that's easy enough for us to do. So if you like music and some binaurals and some subtle sound effects, you can have that. And if not, we'll keep it really bare bones and simple for you. So that's what we'll do from now on. Does that sound kosher? Good for everybody?
And if you have any requests for what you want me to sing on that audio, just put it in the chat and I'll note it down.
The request is don't.
Oh, thanks. I know that song well.
Shots fired. All right. Hey, does anyone else want to share anything before we start wrapping up here? Stefan, I saw you shift on my screen. I didn't know if that was because somebody left or you had something to say. Maybe everybody shifted, but I think he's good. Okay. Let's see. We got some comments here. All right. Sounds like that was a good one, huh? I'm even more excited for next week's process. It's going to be something you haven't experienced before. It's been something I've never seen anybody do, like how we're going to do it. And I'm not going to explain it to you at all. You're just going to have to show up and experience it. So Freddie and I have talked about this. We talked about this a week or two ago, and it's going to be fun. We're going to play a little bit. So that's coming up. And then I think I made a comment in the Facebook group as well. We want to start doing little 10-minute hypnosis in a hurry or hypno quickies or 10-minute transformations or some little series like that where we give you just a little trance and some direct suggestions, some state shifts, maybe once or twice a week that you can listen to for different things and start to condition those in. So we're gonna start working on that as well. Freddie, anything else?
No, I think that's it. Yep. A hypno pit stop, get a checkup from the neck up to avoid the hardening of the attitudes. It's going to be fun.
That's perfect. I'm sending an email out tomorrow. Freddie's hosting I think he mentioned it, a stop smoking training in The Hague in November, correct, Freddie?
That's it. Yeah.
Nobody runs.
If you know anybody, I know a lot of you hypnotherapists anyway, but if you're not doing quit smoking, you know someone who wants to quit smoking, That's going to be on Zoom as well. So wherever you are in the world, obviously it'd be nice to see some of you in The Hague live. But if not, if catch up was on Zoom.
And Freddie runs in that some very really cool frame. I would call them like frame busting techniques, some frame busting questions where they just break apart people's frames and their limiting beliefs around smoking, which I have applied to other areas and of use as well. So it's not just stop smoking. It's a really powerful session. So if any of you want to run do the marketing 3-day boot camp with me next week, send me an email. Next week we're doing the Ericksonian process. Values start October 3rd. Lots of stuff in the works. So I hope you guys are having fun and enjoying. If you have any questions, send me a message as always. And I think last thing, a few of you, I'm getting notices that your credit cards, your payments are defaulting. So if you want to check make sure you have the right credit card in our system, because sometimes if you put the wrong card in or it expires, it might be an issue. So I think that wraps it up. It's been great seeing all of you, and I look
Great to see you
forward
all.
to next week.